Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about some player updates because right now we are in the middle of this international break. There are many players out there that are playing for their national teams. There are currently some players that are currently training with the Barcelona squad. So what I do want to do in this video is talk about just where these players are at, like what is their availability, what is their fitness, and much more. So we are going to be touching on a multitude of players, and to be very honest, I just cannot wait to see this Barcelona team back again together because honestly, like when we are in this international break, like yes, I do love to see my national teams like El Salvador, United States. Sometimes I like to see Argentina, Brazil, but nothing really does entertain me more than to watch FC Barcelona play. I really want to see club football back, so I'm very excited that we are now about 5 days away from Barcelona playing their match within La Liga and playing in the Champions League. But first, I do want to give a special thanks towards the OneFootball app for sponsoring this video. The OneFootball app is considered as the best football app you could find in the App Store when it comes to looking at the latest player stats or team stats, or if you do want to follow a specific team and what's currently going on in the transfer world, the OneFootball app will be there to inform you immediately and live. And one of the best new features that the OneFootball app does carry now, the OneFootball app will give out La Liga highlights in the UK. It's going to be a very important feature for many of the people that's in the UK. If you guys do want to watch any highlights regarding FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, the OneFootball app will have that in store available on your phone. The only thing that you do have to do is go into the link that's in the description box. You would be able to download it, and then from there you would be able to follow your desired teams or players, and especially watch the new highlights within La Liga. But now let's get back into the video. Let's start with Gerard Pique. Now, it has been said, and it is official coming from the club itself, that Gerard Pique has been involved in today's training session. Previously, he did encounter an injury. He was out for a couple of days. He did feature in that match against Athletic Club that was taken about 2 weeks ago, but that was a match that Gerard Pique should have never played because before that game, it was reported that Gerard Pique was feeling some sort of discomfort in his calf, but then we found out a couple of hours later that he was going to play against Athletic Club, and in that game, he did encounter the injury. So he was not careful, and I think that when you are 34 years old, right, when you're turning 35 in about a year, you have to be more careful because you will be experiencing much more of those injuries if you are not careful. But now that we are seeing Gerard Pique being involved with the group, he should be expected to feature in that match against Sevilla, assuming that this game does go through. Now, let me get one thing very clear that I forgot to mention within this video. We do not know if Barcelona is going to be playing against Sevilla. Right now, it is very 50-50. There is a chance that it could be postponed, but let's assume that this match between Barcelona and Sevilla does actually go through. Now, let's talk about Pedri, because Pedri has returned in today's training session. Now, this is the most surprising news of today because Pedri was actually supposed to be returning on Wednesday this week, but Pedri did feature in the training session today under Koeman. He made the decision to arrive early. This is what really fascinates me the most about this player, is that he is a very young player. He is one of the youngest players in this squad, but he has the attitude of a man. He is committed. He is determined to win. He wants to work. He is very well aware that this club has to do well this season. The fans expect this. The fans want Barcelona to do well. We want to compete well in La Liga, in the Champions League, in the Copa del Rey. We want to win titles. Pedri sees the exact same thing. He understands that in order for us to achieve that, there needs to be massive work involved, and that is why we are seeing Pedri arrive early to the training session today. I am really happy to see that he is back in training, and there's also a video of Koeman being very happy that he has returned. He hugged him, he patted him on the back. It was just all good vibes because you can just get a feeling that this team wants to work hard, that this team wants to be together, and so he should also be expected to play up against Sevilla in this weekend. Now moving on towards the next player of today, and we are going to be talking about Luuk De Jong and his arrival, because yesterday he did have an interview and he was talking about how he is so happy to be at Barcelona, that he wants to fight for this shirt, and he has even said, and I quote, "I am tall, I am a good header of the ball. As I already said before, I am a player with a different skill set. Koeman knows that he can use me in the final minutes when he needs a player that's tall and good with the head." So what Luuk De Jong is basically saying here is that he wants to show Koeman that he is someone different, that he could be in some way a plan B. Now, to be very honest, I have never given out my opinion when it comes to Luuk De Jong. Like, yes, do I support this player? I really do. But here is going to be my opinion. I am not going to say that I would much rather prefer Luuk De Jong over Sergio Aguero or Martin Braithwaite. I just do not see him being in the starting 11, nor do I see him being that backup for a player like Memphis Depay, Martin Braithwaite, or Sergio Aguero. Like I honestly believe that the only reason why Luuk De Jong came to Barcelona, it is because if Barcelona end up in that worst case scenario where there are many players getting injured, then that is when he will come in. But if no players get injured, or maybe if we see about one player being injured throughout this season, then I just just do not see Luuk De Jong getting any minutes. But of course, right, if he wears that Barcelona shirt and he is on the field and he is playing against Athletic Club or Atletico Madrid or Sevilla or Real Madrid, I am going to be rooting for that player. But again, I just do not see him playing against Bayern Munich or Sevilla within these next 8 to 9 days. But once we do see him play, I do assume that Koeman will get the best out from this player because he does have experience working with this player. Now I do want to move on towards the section of the players who are currently injured, and that is going to be revolving around Dembele and Sergio Aguero. And so it says here, according to Javi Miguel, Aguero and Dembele are expected to fully recover from injuries and return into the pitch by early November. Barcelona believe that Aguero can still recover before Dembele since Aguero's injury isn't as serious compared to Dembele. Barcelona also believe that Sergio Aguero can receive the green light by mid-October, and if Sergio Aguero does arrive by mid-October, he will be needing about 2 weeks of training, which basically means that if he arrives by mid-October and then we fast forward 2 weeks later, he is expected to return up against either Alaves on October 30th or Dinamo Kiev on November 3rd. So it's very unfortunate to see these two players being out injured right now because look, Sergio Aguero, first of all, he's a very much needed player. Like if you want to talk about a player being good when headering the ball, Sergio Aguero is actually pretty decent at doing so. He does have a total of 38 goals when it comes to headers in his career. 13 of those 38 goals were game-winning matches. Now obviously this is nothing compared to a player like Luuk De Jong, who has a total of 75 goals being header goals, and 20 of those goals were actually game-winning matches. But in the end, Sergio Aguero does have a lot of weapons in his disposal. He can score goals with the head, with his right foot, with his left foot, with his knee, with his calf, with his chest, with his shoulders, and we are going to be needing a player like him inside the box. And hopefully Aguero does actually make it in the final stages for the UCL group. As for Dembele, he is probably the most anticipated player to come back, and let me tell you guys, like when it comes to Dembele, what I believe is more anticipated than his arrival and his return to Barcelona is going to be his contract renewal, because look, Dembele is the future. This is a player that Barcelona do want. They want to extend his contract for another 3 to 4 years, and so many of us Barcelona fans, we want to see a healthy Dembele. He is a player that can give so much more than what we have seen in the past 4 years since 2017. Like honestly, like if you were to ask me, Dembele has been giving out 50% of what he could do. We have never seen a 110% Dembele, and hopefully in this season we get to see a Dembele that gives out 110 to 120%. We want to get the maximum from this player. And what I find so interesting about Dembele's case is that in the previous season, which was the 2020-2021 season, Dembele did not get injured at all last season. Like he did not encounter not a single one. He got injured when he joined the national team with France in the Euros, but he never got injured with Barcelona last season. And so you can get that feeling that at Barcelona, they were monitoring him very well and taking care of him very well at that club. Like they have figured out how to take care and how to contain a player and give him longevity to continue to play every weekend. And so by the end of this year, which is November or December, hopefully, right, we get to see a front three of Memphis Depay, Ansu Fati, and Dembele, right? Memphis playing on the left, Ansu playing as a striker, Dembele playing as a right winger. That would be a front three that can work wonders. A front three that if they are all healthy, if they are all well connected and they understand each other, that can be a very lethal front three. And so now lastly, I do want to speak about Sergino Dest, because yesterday there was a match between USA and Canada. In that match, USA did tie against Canada 1-1. It was a very frustrating result for the Americans. Yes, I do support the USA national team. It was a very tense match because we really needed to win that game, but we ended up tying 1-1. Dest was playing as a right back for the national team. He had a very good game. Offensively, he was excellent. Defensively, like I have always said, sometimes he can be a vulnerability for the team that he is playing for, and so he did have some fancy moments. He was doing a lot of step overs, trying to chip the ball over the players. He was really giving out a show for the fans. But eventually, in that game, around the 30th minute, he did encounter a ankle injury, and that is just what happens when you are running all around, when you are being involved 100% of the time. This sometimes does happen. Look at what happened to Alphonso Davies yesterday. He is also a player that has encountered an injury, and the only reason why he did encounter that injury is because the only way Canada could score is by counter-attacking the USA national team. And Alphonso Davies was running so many meters and miles on the field because he was simply the only source of attack, and eventually it got towards Davies and he also encountered a injury. But going back to Sergino Dest, many were asking, is Sergino Dest going to be ready for the game against Sevilla or in that game against Bayern Munich? And so it says here, according to Javi Miguel, that there is nothing serious when it comes to Sergino Dest's injury. He just has a minor ankle sprain. His presence for the game against Sevilla on Saturday is currently not in danger. And so Dest is going to be needed against Sevilla, and he will be needed against Bayern. Like everyone was saying that Dest was going to be out for about 2 weeks, but he will not miss both games. And there has also been reports that Ronald Koeman may go for a 3-5-2 against Bayern Munich, and within that system of a 3-5-2, you are going to be needing a player like Dest. Like, can you imagine that we actually go for a 3-5-2 and Dest was injured and we actually use Sergio Roberto on the right wing within the 5-man midfield? Like I do not even know what would happen if that ends up happening. Like, if someone were to ask me, Kevin, how many goals do you think Bayern is going to score with Sergio Roberto playing on the right wing? I would say yes. Yes, they're going to score all of them. But let's hope that Sergio Dest recovers as soon as possible, gets into the training sessions under Ronald Koeman as soon as possible, and let's get the best result we could get against Sevilla and against Bayern Munich. But that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona Daily News. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.